We're told that there's this normal path in life. In the US, it goes something like go to college, get a steady job, settle down, buy a house, and then finally retire. But here's the thing, who decides that's normal? Who does that script actually benefit? And why are we so willing to follow it, even when it no longer serves us? The truth is, we're all wired differently. Some of us thrive on creativity, others on routine, some on working with our hands. So, how can one narrow definition of normal possibly fit everyone? For me, college right out of high school wasn't the right fit. I went to cosmetology school instead. Wow, did I get criticism? My parents thought I was throwing away my future. I felt like a failure, like I'd let them down. But looking back, it was the best decision I could have made. And that wasn't the only time. I've made choices like that again and again. Paths that looked far outside the social norm. Each time, it reminded me that's what's considered normal often isn't what's best for us. Let's talk about debt. In the US, it is practically a rite of passage. Student loans, credit card, mortgages. It's all so normalized, we barely question it. We strap barely legal adults with mountains of debt before they can even buy a drink. Debt doesn't just take money, it takes freedom. It limits choices, locks people into careers that don't fit them, and keeps us stuck in systems that benefit corporations more than the individuals. And then we're told to chase the corporate job, the so called stability. But stability without joy, that's just another cage. We cling to safe choices, jobs we hate because they're stable, paths that look respectable but don't bring us joy or fulfillment. And here's the irony, the corporations themselves aren't safe. Layoffs, restructuring, and burnout, it's all part of the package. So, whose stability are we really protecting? I've chosen paths that didn't look safe to others, but they gave me joy. And every time I realized safe isn't always secure. Sometimes safe is just fear dressed up as responsibility. And then there's how we handle hard conversations. Too often, they get shut down with personal attacks, shame, or simply not letting the other person speak. That's not normal. That's intimidation. I remember one of the first times I truly took accountability for a mistake. I admitted I was human, and instead of feeling ashamed, it felt free. That moment gave me more empathy for others when they mess up too. It reminded me that accountability builds connection, not weakness. But we've normalized moving on without really apologizing or repairing the damage. Brushing things under the rug doesn't heal, it hides. What's considered normal isn't even consistent across cultures. In many cultures, living at home until marriage is encouraged and accepted, while in the US, we push young people out as fast as possible. And even small things like going out with friends and splitting the bill. Standard in some countries, offensive in others. Or in parts of Asia, opening a gift in front of people is considered rude. In the US, not opening them right away feels rude. Living abroad showed me this firsthand. In Turkey, for example, family rhythms and social expectations look completely different than in the US. Normal isn't real, it's cultural, it's relative, and it changes depending on where you stand. And here's one more layer: how we balance ourselves with others. We're told to always put ourselves first. But true friendship sometimes means doing things we'd rather not simply because we care. I've had many times where I didn't want to go out of my way, but I did because I cared about that person. And those moments often deepen the friendship more than anything else. I'll admit I struggle with this balance. Sometimes I don't do enough for myself, other times, not enough for others. But I know real connection means stepping outside of our comfort zone when it matters. And if we choose not to, we can't expect others to be there for us when we need them. So, if normal is just a script, why do we cling to it? Maybe because it feels safe. But safe doesn't always mean fulfilling. Waiting decades to finally relax is a gamble most of us can't afford. Joy isn't something you save for retirement. It's something you choose now. Doing what brings us alive today gives us energy, not drains it. It lets us enjoy life while we're still in the place to do the things we dream about. Looking back, I see a pattern in my life. I've often chosen paths outside the norm. And while it wasn't easy, it taught me that joy and meaning don't come from following a script. They come from living honestly and being true to yourself. It is so important to remember it is ultimately you who has to live with your decisions. The myth of normal is just that, a myth. And the sooner we stop waiting for permission to live, the sooner we realize joy and meaning aren't waiting at the end. They're here now in the choices we make every day. I'd love to hear from you. What are some choices you made that you were told were outside of the norm? And how did you feel afterwards? If you got something out of today's episode, feel free to share with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and join us on Friday's episode. Thank you. Have a great day.